On the topic of decades.
Yarp.
All right?
Yarp.
Before we finish up, I'd like to introduce another topic.
Fuck.
On the topic of decades, this year is the 20-year anniversary of the PS2.
What?
We didn't talk about it earlier. We didn't get
Nope.
to it before because we had other topics that we were going through at the time that were our focus. But I think its actual 20th anniversary was the 4th of March. Is that correct?
I think so, yeah.
Which means 20 years ago, 2 decades ago, PS2 released on the 4th of March. Way! I think this is a console.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, PS2! I think that's a console most people probably had.
Yes.
Except for anyone born after.
Yeah. They probably did not.
Yeah.
I use the word had and not have. It's all in the past, brother. Yeah. If you're under the age of 20, you possibly didn't have it. You were like, I had a PS3 as my first console. Or Xbox 360. Sorry. I keep forgetting it. So, commemorating then...
How could you forget it? Mass Effect 2 first came on the Xbox 360,
I know,
which is one of your honorable mentions.
I know. I feel really bad.
Scumbag.
Give you the red ring and then. So, to bring up a further discussion and commemorate the 2 decades of PS2, I'm going to ask you guys to consider your favorite PS2 game of all time.
I'll just say whatever you guys are saying.
What? Why is there too many to think about? Actually, Adam, can you get up a list of PS2 games and just name out a few? Like, it doesn't matter what year they came out. Just name. Yeah, just name.
Essentially, all of them were memorable.
Big heavy hitters, and maybe as we go through, like quick little notes on some of them, and then we'll see what our favorite is.
Okay, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater.
Is that the first one that came up?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
Well, that's my favorite one.
Is it?
Sure.
Have you even considered the others? Let's hear a few
Nope.
more.
Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
That's also good.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, go on.
Final Fantasy X.
That's
I
also
fucking
good.
love that game. I said it before.
Yeah.
It didn't really count within this decade because it's really from then. Like, that's really when it's from, but okay.
Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, I'm
Fuck.
playing it at the moment. Well, by the time this comes out, I've probably stopped playing it or finished it, but...
You when we recorded this, you were playing this.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 2.
Sons of Liberty.
Grand Theft Auto 3.
Tree?
Silent Hill 2.
Fucking hell, yeah.
Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
A lot of GTA on the
You
PS2,
know,
isn't
you know
there?
what's the great thing about these games? You don't actually need to give like any synopsis because the minute you say it, most people should know what they are.
Except for those that were born after.
Yeah, but they
Yeah, like a lot of people haven't played these games. Like.
Well, yeah, but a lot of our listeners have.
God of War 1 and 2.
Yeah. So that series all began.
Jack and Daxter.
The Boys.
Devil May Cry Trilogy.
Oh, did you know? Devil May Cry, the first one, when they were developing it, because it's a Capcom game as well, they were actually developing it as Resident Evil 4. And they were going to take a whole different approach with the Resi series. And because it was such a departure, they changed it to Devil May Cry and gave it its own thing. But that was originally
Fun
going
fact,
to be...
folks.
So there you go. Yeah.
Shadow of the Colossus.
Jesus. I downloaded that this year.
Yeah, same. Played a little bit. Have you played it yet?
Yeah, I played a little bit of it. It's a bit... I don't know.
The controls are horrendous.
Well, I'm on a horse running around, shining a beam from my sword.
Yeah, but I think the horse controls
I don't feel like I'm in a rush.
are really, really bad.
Yeah, I
But
actually
have you taken down a Colossus yet?
No, not yet.
That's an experience.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really good.
It's very good, very fun.
Like I only just turned it on just to see what the start was like. I didn't.
The horse mechanics are very good in Shadow of the Colossus.
I think they're the worst thing ever.
Shit.
Maybe I have a weird memory of it. The hair is good, isn't it?
They got the hat right.
By today, well, back then, yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. Pretty nuts.
Anyway, those are probably some of the
big ones.
top contenders.
Okay, are there any that
the main one that's coming to my mind is Metal Gear Solid 2. I remember distinctively one time sitting down playing that from start to near end. Right, I was guiding Emma along and blah blah blah, and then dinner was ready, and I was gonna turn it off and just go have dinner. And you two were like, "Oh, Eric, have you saved it?" I was like, "Oh no, I don't ever save." because I was afraid to like save over your save file or something like that. And then buddies were like, "No, just save, Eric. You've almost cleared it. You might as well just save the game." So yeah, that would probably definitely be up there because I've played that game a lot.
Okay, hold on. So before we move on, Metal Gear Solid 2, your thoughts?
My thoughts on Metal Gear Solid 2?
Yeah, why not? We're here. Why not?
Okay, well, it's the reason I wanted a PS2.
Yeah, right?
Like, I remember seeing... I went to a friend's house, and the PS2 was in his bedroom, sitting beside his like really tiny CRT television, which looked huge to me.
Yeah.
It was like 19 inches or something like that as a screen size. And I remember seeing that going, what is that? What is that? And it's like, oh, that's the PlayStation 2. It's like, there's a second one? It's like,
there are kinds of PlayStation?
Hold on. And then it's like, what game? Metal Gear Solid 2. There's a second one?
So he shows me that, and I was just like, oh my god, I need this machine. So I didn't get it at launch. So it must have been the end of 2001.
Well, I do
distinctively
remember you got it for Christmas, and Metal Gear Solid 2 was the first game you got with it.
That and Time Crisis 2 with it.
Oh, what a game.
Fucking
Time Crisis 2 of those games.
Yeah. Oh, I love that game.
That was good crack.
I had a great time playing that game.
Along with the G-Con 2.
But, that was great. But MGS2, yeah, like...
But I remember...
That tanker mission is just so much fucking fun.
Yeah, well, I think the whole game is... Like, I you know what, yeah, people complaining that you play as Raiden instead of Snake. Mm-hmm. I didn't care. I didn't care. I was playing another Metal Gear.
Yeah, we can go further into that conversation another time because we could do like a full analysis on the Metal Gear Solid series. But, Raiden's not as cool as Snake, but the gameplay to the game is phenomenal. Like, picking up enemies and locking them in the locker.
Ahead of its time.
Well, I have to say, right, the story is, I feel a little bit like...
As a child, you're not going to understand it.
No,
but you should not, because you shouldn't be playing it.
I didn't care because there was a fat man on rollerblades.
Fucking C4.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's great. His name's Fat Man.
Fat Man, yeah. Which, as a child, you think, oh, that's really insulting, but it's because it's based off a nuke.
And then I thought it was stupid, yeah. And then there's actually a clever reason as to why he's called that. And it's actually like, oh, wow. Someone did the research way more than me.
With Death Stranding from the last episode,
yeah.
A lot of the characters in that are named similar to Fat Man.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like, there's a guy called Heartman. There's a guy called Die Hard Man.
Die Hard Man.
Right, and...
That's ridiculous.
Please tell me, like, the names are shit, but please tell me...
The names are shit, but there's an absolute reason as to why they're called that.
Okay.
Right, yeah. No, but I was just about to say on MGS2, like, the story, it's... And a lot of people, I think, possibly didn't give the story a chance because they just hate Raiden, and they just focus on that rather than, like, really delving into it, but I remember like loving The Matrix as a child, but not understanding what the fuck was going on, right? And then when I got a little bit older, I actually listened to what Morpheus was saying in that scene where he explains the thing about the battery, right? And then I went, oh my god, it blew my mind. And there's a similar thing in MGS2 where at the end there's like nearly a 2-hour cutscene. It's so long, right? And I just didn't listen to it as a child. I was just like, and eventually I think I was like, oh, skip, fight, awesome, right? Just do the samurai fight, great. But when I actually listened to it and got it, I was like, oh my god, this is like The Matrix. This is huge. Like, it's a huge twist. It's massive. But yeah, MGS2 was fucking great.
That was also one of the first ones where it brought in mechanics of being able to shoot people in particular parts of their body, and they would actually react to it. So it was really kind of ahead of its time.
And objects. Remember shooting the bottles? Like, so
and then it would actually, it would react to
so you could put someone to sleep and then drag them to just underneath like a bar or something like that, and if you start shooting the bottles of red wine, the red wine would then fall on top of them, and when someone comes by, they think he's dead.
There was loads of just clever shit like that where it was like, oh,
it was
wow,
quite ahead of its time with its kind of mechanics of what you could do.
And I remember thinking graphics will never get better.
Huge leap from the first one.
Huge in terms of gameplay and everything. Huge. And I still prefer the first game.
Yeah.
But there's different reasons for that. But like the second one plays so well, so well. Is that? Are you going to say that's your favorite PS2 game?
No, let's keep moving on. Maybe. I don't know. They were all so good. Like,
there was amazing games.
Yeah, but like you also
if you pick one, it doesn't mean you don't like the other ones.
You said Devil May Cry Trilogy. I remember playing Devil May Cry 2 loads of times. That was really good fun.
If you want people to like you, do not say that that's your favorite PS2 game.
No, it's not my favorite PS2 game, but it's my really favorite version of Dante. I am going to say that.
Oh.
Fuck all y'all liking the other fucking Dante.
Yeah,
stupid twat.
Oh my
Jesus.
goodness.
No, the Dante, not the people.
Not you, the listener. We love you.
The listeners are fine, but that Dante. Well, obviously the actor has to do
You need
that.
to wash out your mouth instead of your hands.
Dirty bastard. Yeah.
What else was fun?
That's
San
a quarantine
Andreas.
joke, is it? Because
It was, yeah. It was a quarantine joke.
Yeah.
You got
San
COVID
Andreas
in
is
your
good
mouth.
fun.
San Andreas is brilliant.
Yeah. Like, I find it really difficult to pick a favourite game on the PS2.
Okay.
Because...
I don't know if this question should be favorite. I think it should be let's just talk about PS2.
Well, I can...
No, like we're talking about a few, and we're commemorating the fact that it's 20 years old this year.
Yeah.
But it's fun to go. If I had to pick one now, and the other thing is,
This is harder than Dark Souls.
No, but like you demonstrated earlier, when you think so at a time of recording, you could think one thing.
Yeah.
Your mind can change, so you can go, for example.
Mind blown.
No, but it can't
change.
It's like as if there's a theme here. You can go one day, I prefer The Witcher 3, and then think about it more as it goes on, and then go, actually, no, you know what? No,
And then I think about the fighting music where it's like.
But similarly, or for example, we might say, if I was to list, let's say, for example, I was to write down now my top 10 favorite games of all time. I'm not going to do it, but let's say I did that.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
I would be closing off all the future games that are about to come out.
Right.
And so if I did that in a recording, that would be forever there as, those are Chris's favorite games of all time. But if I was to do a new recording 10 years later, something might come off the list and something else might come onto it. You know
Also,
what I mean?
you might end up playing a game so much that you end up hating it then.
That can happen, and your mind can change.
The repetition of it.
What you say today as your favorite PS2 game doesn't mean that you'll never decide, you know what, and you haven't played every PS2 game.
That is true.
You know what I mean? You haven't, so you can't definitively
But I have played
say
the best.
all PS2 games. And what is that, Adam?
Well, the best 5.
What are those, Adam?
So, I struggle with, obviously, MGS2.
Yeah, MGS2.
It's fantastic.
Phenomenal.
The reason I got the PS2, wouldn't have the PS2 if it wasn't because of it. Then there's Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
One of my favourite RPGs.
Yeah. Fucking love it.
My second favourite Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, same.
Then we have...
Yeah, whatever you said.
Name more to me.
I like your top 3, and I like your top 2.
San Andreas, obviously.
Brilliant.
Incredible game.
Yeah, unreal. Fucking class, yeah. Go on, keep going.
Okay, Metal Gear Solid 3.
Ah, yes.
No, you lost me.
Oh, my God.
No,
That was another one with, really mind-bogglingly great gameplay mechanics. Of camouflage.
Oh, the gameplay? Yeah.
Of camouflage,
gameplay was incredible.
I feel like the
code knew where the fuck I was lying.
Alright, let me just name the last one. We go back to Metal Gear.
Okay.
I know what the last one's going to be.
The last one's Resident Evil 4.
Okay, yeah, that's a great one.
Because every game after that became...
I'm actually probably going to say similarly, those are probably my top 5 PS2 games as well.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the best ones, obviously.
Those are the best ones.
If you don't,
definitively.
yeah.
Sorry, Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, no, nothing else was that
Or
great.
Simpsons Hit and Run.
That's pretty good.
A lot of people enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Hit and Run is fucking great.
Most people would bring that.
Out.
Yeah, a lot of people bring that up, and I'm like,
Well, we didn't really play.
No, we didn't play
kids
fun
games.
games. We didn't play fun
we didn't play
games.
the Jack and Daxter game.
Simpsons Hit and Run, and just for a quick note, they noticed a lot of kids were playing and enjoying the gameplay of Grand Theft Auto.
Oh yeah.
But the content in Grand Theft Auto is obviously not appropriate for kids, and even though they're putting 18s on it and parental warnings and all this kind of stuff, kids were still getting their hands on Grand Theft Auto, and they really shouldn't have been. It's not appropriate.
Well, I disagree, Chris, because I think I turned out fine.
No, I as a child am allowed to play whatever I want, but other children shouldn't. Now that I'm an adult, I don't want kids who are the age that I was when I was exposed to certain things to be exposed to those things. But Simpsons Hit and Run was a really good idea to bring out, to go, let's do a Grand Theft Auto game that has fun, happy visuals, that's appropriate for kids. So yeah, fun times. But on those 5 that you mentioned,
well, I just want to go back to what you're saying about Snake Eater. Is that I feel like the Metal Gear series, that was the pinnacle of it.
Yeah.
And
to be an MGS fan at that time was
because the next game started trying to maintain the camouflage, but it wasn't really that useful, so you don't bother using it. And it tries to introduce open warfare kind of thing, which is where Peace Walker and 5 started going, and it's 3 is where like that's the pinnacle of Metal Gear.
Well, that's because Metal Gear
You hit
is
the
a
peak.
tactical espionage
Action.
game.
Yeah.
Is it action? I thought it was.
Is it not tactical espionage action?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was something else, and then one of the other games introduced the word action, and then that's kind of what changed it. I didn't know it was.
4 changed it to adventure.
Oh, did it? Okay.
And then
Revengeance.
Then Peace Walker
That's
changed
it
it
as
to
well.
operations.
Oh. And then 5 changed it to this is not Metal Gear anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3 was class. Great.
Like trying to pick a favorite out of those 5, Chris.
Well, let me tell you.
Have
me pretty stumped.
Have me pretty stumped. It's gonna be kind of a toss up between MGS3 and San Andreas.
I am a toss up between MGS3 and Final Fantasy X.
I am a toss up between
A potato and a potato.
Resi 4 and probably boop.
Is it Resi 4?
As my favorite?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
A little while ago was MGS2.
No, I was just saying.
Your mind changes like a wind.
I'm just saying Metal Gear Solid 2 was a really fun game to play.
It was,
but
yeah.
for personal reasons, Resident Evil 4 would be my favorite, as that was the game that had to make me overcome my fear of zombies.
Hey!
So, on an emotional, personal level, Resident Evil 4 would have to be there. Plus,
And also, you had Leon's haircut.
I had Leon's haircut. I was Leon back in the day. I fought zombies in Spain.
I was Ingrid.
Hunnigan, is it? Yeah. I'm probably fucking Ashley.
Yeah.
Just loud mouth. Leon, help!
Because, again, that really...
Do you just love escort missions? Is that why you liked MGS2 and Resi 4?
Maybe.
Do you like escort missions?
Just likes escorts.
That's another topic.
No, it's not. That'll never come up in an episode.
What, escort missions, Chris?
What's your favourite escort mission? Yeah, actually, it could be.
In San Andreas.
I could never get past the start of that. I can't ride a bike in real life, but I can't ride a bike in that game.
There are places where you shouldn't be honest. This is one of them. Yeah, Resi 4 is phenomenal. Let's be honest.
It is great.
It is.
Again, that was another game where we looked at graphics and went, wow, can they get any better?
Yeah, I remember that feeling of going,
Well, actually,
this
yeah.
is the pinnacle.
Even back then, it could. If you played it on the GameCube.
No, I know that, but I do remember seeing it on the PS2 and going,
yeah.
Wow. And I have, like, Resi 4 opened up the possibility of playing horror games.
For yourself, you mean?
For myself.
Yeah.
Not for the world, no. But for myself. Like, I just would not touch a horror game.
I was the same,
before
yeah.
that. And then, I don't know why you ended up getting it, because I know you got it, Adam.
Well, I remember was over at my...
Gave it the chance.
My friend Tom had it on GameCube.
Shout out, Tom.
Shout out to Tom. He had it on GameCube. That's when I first... And he showed me the opening to it.
Yeah.
And I was shit scared. I remember having to walk... Like, it was fucking broad daylight. And walking home, I was, like, looking over my shoulder. Because the place, it was like a ghost town.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but the place, like, the whole town was empty. There wasn't anyone. There was actual tumbleweed, like, you know? And I was like, this is just like the village sequence. Yeah, so I remember seeing it then, and just every now and then I'd pop back over to his house and I'd see a little bit more of the game. I would never get the full thing. And then I remember, it must have been nearly a year later that we were in like a supermarket and I saw the Steelbook PS2. It was like the special edition.
Yeah, it was deadly.
Of Resident Evil 4.
That. Yeah, it was deadly.
And it was like there was extra content. There was extra missions where you get to play as Ada. There was new weapons introduced, etc. And I was like, well, I didn't even know it was coming out on PS2. I thought it was a GameCube exclusive. It was supposed to be.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember a lot of diehard Nintendo fans were getting pretty pretty upset that it came to PlayStation. But I was like, I have to have this, so picked it up, and that's when I first played it. It's not as scary on the PS2 actually, because
the
GameCube, it did get a degrade in graphics. It did get extra content to make up for that, but the graphics were way better on the GameCube, so it was a little bit more. There was more kind of like realism in the lighting.
Yeah.
So when you're in like the graveyard area, it's nearly pitch black, and it's just like the lightning. When that goes off, then you can see all the ganado surrounding you. Like, that is terrifying. It's a lot easier to play on the PS2 because it's not scary.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as a 7-year-old child or whatever the hell I was, that shit is terrifying. Even in playing the broad daylight moment.
Even if you have the sun like blasted in on the screen.
You just have the screen off and you just hear the audio.
Yeah, it's
just look at the case of the game.
bringing it back to the guy with the chainsaw and the potato bag for a head. All right, he's terrifying. All right, he's coming a door and
but there's so much of that game that's like, it's a bit like Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
You know, you've got pretty much the codec.
Yeah.
You've got like this great arsenal of weapons.
Well, that was why I was able to get into it.
Same.
There was a Metal Gear Solid, like, because I loved Metal Gear Solid, and there was a Metal Gear Solid thing in it. So that was like the gateway in, like the spy looking for the president's daughter with the codec thing going on and using all the guns and boss fights and things and interesting characters. And then it introduced me to horror as a result. So it was literally like a Metal Gear Solid game that introduced horror to me. Yeah. And as a result, it's taken me a long time, but now I'm at a point where horror is such a fascinating genre to me. Like,
yeah, I was saying,
I would have written it off.
Would never have touched horror if it wasn't for that game.
Yeah, so I gotta give it.
You still kind of don't.
Ultimate respect.
Still kind of don't. Yeah.
You should definitely play Resi 2.
Yeah.
I think you'd really enjoy it.
I think I would too.
Yeah.
But it's just other games to get through.
But like, my toilet would enjoy me. I am going to, like, Final Fantasy X comes very close for me.
Yeah.
I fucking love that game. I've said it before, like we've talked about it in an episode previously because of the remaster. I love the adventure of it. I love the world. The music is gorgeous. I just love that whole world. But ultimately, I'm going to give Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater my favorite.
Whoa, what a thrill!
My favorite PS2 game. Oh my god, it's unbelievable. Metal Gear Solid. That's one of those games where actually, like,
nothing better than spending 3 minutes climbing up the ladder.
With silence and darkness and the night. But yeah, like no, there is.
And then you jump off and die. It's great.
Do it all over again.
Fishing nails.
You're playing snakes and ladders, man. But Metal Gear Solid 3, like. So Final Fantasy, of the two of them, Final Fantasy X is a game that I thoroughly enjoy, but I know not everyone would. And it's not one that I'd say, oh, you have to play it. It just depends on what you like. Like, if other people like if people do like, say, Final Fantasy 7, I would say, oh, you should try 10. You'd probably really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Whereas Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater is, if you're a gamer at all, I would say, you need to play it.
Yeah, and it's so good.
You need to play it.
I don't know how well it holds up, but it is such an enjoyable game to play, and the camouflage aspects, the survival aspects of that game,
so good.
It's one of the few, like, I genuinely think, like, you know, normally when at that age I would play games like on the easiest difficulty so I could get through and enjoy the story.
Yeah.
But Snake Eater is one where I much prefer playing that on the normal difficulty, right? Not necessarily the hard, because I think it gets just it gets a little bit much trying to balance your survival.
Yeah.
It's almost unrealistic.
Yeah.
But on the normal difficulty, it's balanced quite well, where, because on very easy or easy, you can get through that entire game without needing to actually eat anything. No. So therefore, you don't need to hunt.
Yeah, you're losing out on the experience.
Yeah, whereas on the normal, your stamina is going down, so you do need to, like, rest up and eat and stuff like that. So you do need to think about hunting, etc. It is a much more enjoyable experience, I think.
Yeah, but like, so like the gameplay was so creative. The graphics at its time were like unbelievable.
I actually remember there's like near the beginning where the nuke goes off.
Yeah,
the lighting to it.
The lighting to it.
Yeah.
I remember my mom was like walking in. She's like, "I suppose it's our ma'am."
I suppose it is.
I suppose it is.
I suppose it is. Yeah. Poor mother.
But she was like, I think she was just trying to I don't know, call me for dinner or something. I don't know.
We all needed to be called for dinner when we played these games.
Turn off that fucking...
Turn the fuck off.
Turn off the game machine and come on and get your dinner or something like that, right? But I'm just like looking at this scene where Snake is like reaching out and he's being lit up by this nuke. And I was like, ma'am, look at those graphics. Like, isn't that like real life? And she's just like... Will you come on?
Your dinner's on the table. We'll put it on a plate. But yeah, it's just a phenomenal game. And then the storyline is incredible. And even I didn't get how in-depth that story was at the first time again. Like, the story was really good. But later on, when I got a bit older and realised what was really going on and how deep those themes were. It's
like Rambo First Blood.
But no, even just the heroics of the boss.
Yeah.
Like... I just saw her as a villain when I was younger. Whereas there's a really complicated, like, is she a villain? Is she a hero for what she's doing? Like,
again, kind of like, because it takes
so
massive inspiration
amazing.
from James Bond.
It does as well, and you can see it in this one more so. Like the tongue-in-cheek in it is fucking great.
But there are a few James Bond films where, as a child, you watch, you're like, grand, watching a Bond fight villain, win the day, whatever. But then when you go back and watch it older, there's like a lot more themes to it.
Yeah, okay.
And everything. There's none come to my head at the moment. I'm not gonna lie, but
because I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
But
it doesn't matter how many times you watch Goldfinger. He's a fat asshole.
Yeah. But I think obviously it doesn't shy away from looking like a Bond.
That theme song.
But again, that's Hideo.
But the campiness
comedy
of the characters in it, like Eva in it, who has the ridiculous outfit and the way she goes on as well, and even the way Snake goes on.
Yeah.
Like, and some of the villains, like, they're really, really like 60s Bond camp.
They were.
But it's like every character that goes on like that is disguising their true intentions.
Yes.
Except
it's all
for
like
Snake.
Much of it is a facade.
So Snake actually goes on like that because he's still the only puppet in the game.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else realizes how to play the game. Therefore, they act in a weird way to hide their true intentions. And the only one that doesn't go on like that is the boss. So she's managed to hide her true intentions without playing like an idiot, basically.
Well, Sorrow doesn't really play like an idiot.
He's dead, though.
Spoiler, thanks, man.
And I would have thought, because normally I don't like Ocelot was one of the favorite characters from the first two, right? Yeah. So you're thinking like a younger Ocelot, and that's not the Ocelot I like, and he hasn't got the big brown coat and the boots, and he hasn't yet gotten to the spinny revolver bit and everything. And young Ocelot was great, really good,
especially when you look at where the series goes and the conclusion of it all. It really heightens that role that he plays.
The importance of that young Ocelot is actually, like, he's not just shoehorned in there.
Yeah,
he is pivotal to the overall arc of the plot.
Yeah.
And it's just great to see him gain like inspiration from some of the people he meets. So like, Snake in that game inspires him in ways. The boss's sacrifice really inspires him, and you figure that out later actually. Like, the boss's sacrifice is a huge part of the final act of the whole series. I say final because it ends at 4, and and then
well, it does.
The story does,
in
reality. And then also, like, Vulcan's cruelty, he learns a bit from that as well. He becomes like a sadistic, like, as heroic as Ocelot can be, he still enjoys torture. He is a sadistic fucker, like. He's a horrible bastard, actually. So yeah, I'm gonna give for like just the overall.
Screw it, it's the Snake Eater.
Are you gonna Snake Eater, that?
Snake Eater.
All right. Okay. So, well then, we'll just stop right there.
You have to choose a different one
now.
For
all the gameplay and experience of it, you're Final Fantasy X. No, I'm joking. But yeah, Snake Eater, my favorite PS2 game, and you're Resi 4.
Sure.
So,
which is also a fantastic game.
No, yeah. Jesus Christ, I'm not bashing any of them.
Well, in fairness, actually, Resi 4's gameplay survived longer. Just putting that point out there.
No, that's cool. Like, Resi 4...
This isn't a competition.
It's not a competition.
Resi 4, you made it a competition by ganging up on me.
Has inspired...
every game ever?
A lot of other games.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
A lot of other games.
Pretty much all of the
PS3
era.
360
era is this over-shoulder shooter.
Yeah. And that came from Resi 4.
Yeah, boy.
So, kudos.
What does kudos mean? Like, where did that come from?
I've explained this to you. I'm fucking ready.
Yeah. Well, it's such a silly. It's a silly sounding word that I forgot it.
All right. Okay.
Kudos.
Kudos.
Sounds like the name of a dog. Here, kudos.
I mean, it could be the name of a dog, I suppose.
Or a type of biscuit.
So, like, do you not like words that sound like if it sounds like the name of a dog, it's like, that's a stupid word. Don't use that word.
Well, it also sounds like a biscuit. Like, you know what I mean? You know, when you say something is good, you don't go, that was digestive. Actually, you do. or okay, we got some cookies in front of me. All right, foxes, huh? If a game's good, you don't go, it's foxes, do you?
No, you say it's like a tire. This is a good year. It's a good year for games.
PS2 was a good generation of games.
So look at
Happy birthday, PS2.
Happy birthday, PS2. On the topic of decades, Resident Evil 4 and Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater made our top favorites.
And we just throw San Andreas in there as well, sure.
And and mentions, honorable mentions to GTA San Andreas, Final Fantasy X, and then also MGS2 Sons of Liberty.
Yeah.
Those are going to be our top fives for the PS2 era. And then, looking back on the last decade, as we said earlier, our favourite games of the decade were The Last of Us and Skyrim. And it's interesting that we started talking about the PS2 today and older games, because now we are entering new territory where we'll be talking about other topics and going even further back into the catalogue of games, or also, you know, as new games come out, they might be the topic, or we'll have various topics. So we have finished our discussion on the games of the decade, and we'll be starting whole new topics. But please let us know your favourite game of the decade. And also, if you want to look up a list of, or pull out your old PS2 games, do let us know what was your favourite PS2 game in kind of celebration of the 20 years of PS2. Yeah, that's all I have to say for now. We won't say what our topic next time is going to be, because something might inspire it. We haven't totally decided the topic yet. But the next time we meet, we will have decided on a topic, or something will have inspired the topic, whether it's a new game that comes out or whatever. So until then, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
And see you.
Bye.